Hey guys, be sure to check out the Mortar Pod, our weekly video podcast, and also check out the tutorial video for my board game, Travelers of Storia. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another M15 Swiss draft. Check out the new Mortar Pod if you have not already. There's a link at the beginning, as well as the Travelers of Storia link as well, so check those out. We just started getting into the invasion block cycles, and invasion block is pretty cool because that was the first Magic Online block to be made available. So check out that one. We've got all the cycles for that. Also, I'm going to take Jace if you didn't already know. I wanted to briefly mention we're adding a new segment to the podcast, and I want you guys to get involved with it, especially for this first week. So it's going to be choose any theme you want. It can be like sports related, movie related, comic book related, and Jake and I are going to make some custom Magic cards fitting that theme is the idea for the new segment. I haven't named it yet. Jeez, past a haunted plate mail, a foil one no less, and a storm tide Leviathan. That's insane. Yeah, we're going to take haunted plate mail. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that this Sunday. Hopefully I'll have, because I think I'm going to post this on Reddit too. I'm going to try and get some good ideas, some good irons in the fire going, and I'll talk to Jake and we'll see if we can have some cards worked out for this coming Sunday. All right, let's actually focus on the draft now. So we've got Jace into foil haunted plate mail, which is pretty awesome. Table the Stormtide Leviathan. This pack unfortunately isn't deep enough to table the Stormtide Leviathan, because I actually do like this card. I know people say it's like unplayable or whatever, but I've won with it. I've lost against it. It's a powerful card. Covenant of Blood is also in here, but Haunted Plate Mail is just bonkers. I think I just drafted it the last draft, but I didn't even get one chance to play it all three matches, unfortunately. All right, best pick we've got here. I mean, Research Assistance at 2-drop, not super exciting though. Scrapyard Mongrel is a good card, especially with the Haunted Plate Mail. That's actually pretty insane. Turn it into what, a 9/6 tramp or 9/7 trample. Jeez, that's pretty beastly. Research Assistant just isn't a terribly exciting pick, although it is very good with the Haunted Plate Mail. I think I just want to take the best card, which is probably the Invasive Species, but it could be I think the Species just because it's a good cost and there's a lot of good into the battlefield effects. So that could be the reasoning of why to take the Invasive Species here. But Scrapyard Mongrel definitely has better synergies with the Plate Mail. I do tend to always play red, though. I play green a lot, too, though, so I don't know what I'm going on about. They're both. I'm going to go with the Mongrel just because it's got better synergies with the Plate Mail. I don't know if it's actually better or not, but we shall find out. Okay, so now we've got Path Mage, Crowd's Favor, which, as you well know if you watch my videos, I love this card. Krinko's Enforcer evades, obviously very good with the Plate Mail. Rummaging Goblin's good, finds our Plate Mail. So I think really the picks are Path Mage, Crowd's Favor, Krinko's Enforcer. I think I actually like the Enforcer more than the Path Mage, but I don't know if that's necessarily right. I'm trying to think why I would say that. I think I'm saying that because it's cheaper, but maybe it's because you don't have to do the... Amphin Path Mage can be kind of a handful if you're getting aggroed down, which I've kind of noticed happens a ton in this format. I think I'm going to take the Enforcer just because it actually evades. But, Path Mage is a great card if you're up against decks that have really good mid to late game strategies. But if you're up against aggro, Path Mage just doesn't do it for me. It's not progressing enough. Sometimes. I mean, maybe it's too early of a statement to say that, but we don't even necessarily have to play the Jace Living Guild Pact, by the way. That's just a first pick because it's worth some tickets, and it's a card that bounces stuff or helps your card quality a little bit. But if I don't end up playing Jace, it's not the end of the world. It's not even a big deal. Borderland Marauder feels like the right pick here because we've already got a couple good red picks, so kind of continuing down that path. Okay, Willforged Golem definitely is fine. I've played it before. Very good with the Mongrel. Just a very good card in general. I like it more than the Lava Axe here. Crippling Blight is good removal. In Soul Artifact, very combo-ish, but good if you pick up the late Ornithopters and make that work. I've yet to build the deck. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it's a little bit too highly disruptible, but if you watched, what was it, 3 drafts ago or 2 drafts ago, I got my face stepped on by it, so it certainly can win when you draw it. Willforged Golem definitely seems right here, so I'm going to take it. Alright, Torch Fiend is a nice 2-drop, a little more exciting to me than the Research Assistant, since we're moving into red a little bit deeper. I don't need to do the blue yet. A couple good green picks in here as well, but let's go ahead and take the Torch Fiend. I like artifact removal a lot, especially on a creature body. Alright, Encrust is fine. Blue removal, definitely. Blastfire Bolt's okay. A little bit expensive. Turn to Frog is some excellent blue removal. I think I actually like the Turn to Frog more than the Encrust, and more than the Negate probably as well. Turn to Frog sucks if you have a ton of X1s, but currently we only have one X1. Even Borderland Marauder does not care about Turn to Frog, so that's kind of nice. Alright, maybe we'll go a little bit deeper blue. We'll see how this works. We'll take the Turn to Frog. I never get a chance to play this card. Foil Grind Clock, tabled. It's a sad day for the mill in this format, huh? Pretty much impossible to play. There is a Charging Rhino in here, which is very late. It's certainly better. It's certainly the best card remaining, so I guess we'll take it. Although, if I end up red-green again, that is sad. Jeez, wait a second. Wait a second. Tabling a Covenant of Blood, yeah. If that's not a sign about black being open, I don't know what is. This pack couldn't have been that deep, right? Tabling Covenant of Blood is very surprising. Let's take the Zoff Shade. I'd almost rather do that now if Covenant of Blood goes that late. That might be the sign we need to move into black. And black-red is very synergistic. You get potential for Nightfire Giant, and then you just get all this nice removal, and you get nice, powerful creatures. I'm going to take the Zoff Shade. I guess it's a late Negate, too. Alright, maybe we're waxing and waning in between black and blue as our secondary color, but I'm pretty sure we're red. I guess we're kind of a weird mix of colors at the moment. Could have been just a freak of nature that Covenant of Blood went that late. I'm actually not sure, but it does seem a bit strange. What was it, 4th to last pick, Covenant of Blood? That's pretty unusual. So far, I'm still pretty satisfied with where we're at. I wouldn't even mind, I guess, splashing for Covenant of Blood. That is actually a potential. Do something Grixis. I don't think I ever do 3-color in this format, so that would be a strange thing for me. But all of these cards seem fine. Ooh, Master of Predicaments is powerful. Lightning Strike is obviously powerful. Child of Night. Master of Predicaments might be the deciding factor to stick with the blue, honestly. The blue picks we've got are pretty exciting. I much prefer main decking the Negate over main decking the Statute of Denial. Negate is just, in my opinion, vastly superior for 2 less mana, 1 colored mana less. Deal with any removal, Planeswalker, non-creature spells, as it specifies. There's also Turn to Frog and Jace that we already have in the colors, so I'm cool. I mean, Master is a good card, is a very strong card. 5 mana 4/4s are a luxury. 5 mana 4/4 flyers are luxury in most limited formats, and this is no exception. Lightning Strike is also a very powerful card. I'm going to regret passing it here, but I think Master is just a game changer, so we're going to take it. Stick with the red-blue strategy for now and see if we can make that work. Wow, literally 0 red picks in here, which is a little bit disconcerting. Could just take the Peel from Reality, which tends to work better with Into the Battlefield effects, which we currently don't have. There's also Child of Night, but I don't want to start moving into black if I'm not confident I can make that work. I mean, maybe it could be the red picks we have are expendable. We do literally only have 4 red picks, and they are not the end-all be-all to making a good deck. So, although I could take the Peel from Reality here, it's not that bad of an idea to take the Child of Night, simply because it's a 2-drop. I may have to move out of red if red is not available. I'm thinking it's much more likely this is just a fluke pack, that doesn't have any red in it. That to me would make a little bit more sense than just having 0 red, than just because it's only 1 pick deep. So I'm actually going to go with the Peel from Reality. I'd like to make the red, I really do want to make the red-blue thing work if I can. If I can't, so be it, but until then, I'd like to make it work. So now the question is Welkin Turn versus Generator Servant. Geez, there is also Stab Wound in here. That's a good black card. That is a good black card. Well, maybe I do go blue-black. Then I'm going to wish I took the Child of Night, but I did take a Peel over it, so we're still okay. Geez. That's tough. Maybe we, all right. Third pick Stab Wound. I think I'm ready to go back. All right. Let's go back into black. Let's try it. I wanted to make the red-blue work, but I'm getting less and less confident. There's only 1 red pick left in here. Could have had multiple grind clocks. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, let's take the Stab Wound. I mean, that is Stab Wound's pretty strong. I don't think anybody can deny that. Into the Void is obviously very strong, so that seems like an easy pickup. Another Ensoul artifact, the Chain Veil, works with our Jace. But let's just let me read, because they reworded this. They errated it. I know that already, which was kind of sad because they had just printed it and they'd already changed it. If you didn't activate a loyalty, yep. For each planeswalker you control, you may activate one of its loyalty abilities once this turn, as though none of its loyalty abilities have been activated this turn. Okay. Let's take the End of the Void. It's a nice answer to the Ensoul artifact, that's for sure. Okay, it's a Resolute Archangel, geez. Now there's no real good blue or black. Actually, Rot Feaster Maggot is totally acceptable. So I think I'm moving into blue-black. Geez, I'm getting some mixed signals here. We'll take the Maggot, because if we pick up more removal, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. Nimbus of the Isles flies, so we can take that. And we actually already have a Zoffshade, so I need to bring that back in. Let's try and get out of red, I think. If we're going to make this red thing work, or excuse me, the blue-black thing work, let's solidify ourselves now. So we'll take the Nimbus. We can take an Accursed Spirit, although it's pretty pricey. That's a lot of 4-drops already. I'd play the Spirit over the Zoffshade, though, since it's built-in evasion. All right, I admit I'm getting concerned. All right, here we go. So now we can take the Crow versus the Child of Night. Crow evades, but I think Child's a little more important. Although Child works worse against the Turn to Frog. But gaining life can be huge. I think we just need cheap stuff. We look expensive as hell. And carrying Crow is even clunkier since it enters tapped. We got to take the Child of Night here. I want the Crow, but beggars can't be choosers. I don't even think I need a second Zoffshade. I think I'm actually going to take the Fugitive Wizard. I know it's literally a Merfolk with a Pearl Trident. That's not even a Merfolk. But I'm going to take it just in case I need another 1-drop, 1/1, at least out of sideboard to like block Oresco's Swift Claws and stuff like that. All right, we'll take the Shadowcloak Vamp. We're getting pretty expensive here. There's an Ornithopter, just in case Ensoul Artifact happens to table. All right, admittedly, this is panning out to be kind of awkward, mostly because I was kind of going, it seemed like one pack would have like good black, and then the next pack would have good blue, and then the next one would have good red, so it was getting tougher and tougher to figure out what to do. Could take the Tyrant's Machine. It's a chance we play it. This is actually a mythic that's not even worth anything, sadly enough. Otherwise I would have taken that. Neither of these really matter. Eternal Thirst is actually okay, but just not good in our deck currently. Alright, well, we got some work to do, folks. We need to make Pack 3 look good, and in order to do that, we're going to have to get some cheap spells. So, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to pick cheap, less powerful creatures over more powerful removal, which I'm not thrilled about, but I think the stab wound just sort of made me want to marry the black, and then just didn't manage to pick up too much early. Oh, there we go. That helps. So we can take the Chasm Skulker. I mean, there's also Jerubai Merklurker, which is quite good. And this pack actually just has everything we want, but Chasm Skulker is a very strong card. Very, very strong card, one of which I like a lot. I like the Merklurker. I'm just going to cross my fingers that we can table it. If we can't, it's not the end of the world. But Chasm Skulker just gets huge and then dies. And I've won too many games with it to pass it over the Merklurker here. I think it's legitimately more bomby than the Merklurker. And this deck needs cheap bombs like that. Ugh, and then we get past the Nightfire Giant. I'd love it, but can't make it work. Here's a pretty easy Aeronaut Tinker pickup. We need more cheap creatures. I value it a little bit more than the Crippling Blight. It'd be nice to table the Crippling Blight, but we'll see if that happens. Passing Nightfire Giant makes me sad, but I need the Tinkerer more currently. Like I said, we have our 4/5. We've got our 4/5 drops mapped out pretty effectively. We just need the cheap stuff. We've got some decent artifacts for the Tinkerer already, so that's a good sign. Very creature light currently, so I honestly I can hardly even look at removal right now. I just need to focus on 2 and 3 drop creatures and just really make sure we get enough. Okay, here at this point I'm ready to start taking research assistance. We're going to need some early blockers to really make sure we can get to our late game bombs, which if you haven't noticed, I mean, we've got Skulker, Jace, and Master, so we've got, and Haunted Plate Mail. So we have some excellent, this deck has amazing ways to win. We need cards like Research Assistant to buy us enough time to get to that point. So let's slam the Assistant here, hopefully table that Crippling Blight or one of them. We can take a second Peel from Reality here. That seems fine. I would have preferred a creature, but I'm not going to complain about it. This is all right. Peel from Reality is acceptable. Getting a little bit too spell heavy, creature light still, so just really on the hunt for just a couple more cheap creatures, and we're in good shape. I'm going to take the Black Cat. It's significantly worse than both Nimbus of the Isles, Shadowcloak Vampire, and Void Snare, but I'm not 100% I can table it, and we really need it bad here, so I'm going to take it. All right, here we can pick up a Typhoid Rats, which is actually kind of a godsend. I like it more than the Witch's Familiar. I guess because Death Touch just kills bombs, you know, stopping the Siege Worms and such. I do like Witch's Familiar too, and maybe it fits the curve a little bit better, but we don't have any 1-drops, so let's just pick up the Typhoid Rats here. Another Void Snare, which would be welcome as well, but yeah, Typhoid Rats, definitely a welcome addition. I'm not even sure I want the Welkin turn. I think I'm actually more interested in blockers than I am attackers. So Coral Barrier, actually Gargoyle Sentinel is right what this deck's looking for. Not only does it turn on our Tinkerer, it's a defender that fits the curve we're missing the most, and it's an artifact. I do like the Coral Barrier. I think Sentinel's just a better card, so blocking the Welkin turns all day, you know, keeping up the mana for that seems very good. Maybe we can cut the Tyrant's Machine for that. Tyrant's Machine seems a little bit too mana intensive for me to want to take it. I'm trying to think what's more annoying, Frenzied Goblin or Ephemeral Shields. They're both pretty annoying. I have less removal, so I think I'm actually going to hate the Frenzied Goblin. Alright, Path Mage, but we already have enough 4-drops. Necromancer's Assistant is not a very good card, however. I mean, I can take the Path Mage anyway. It is a lot of 4-drops, but Necromancer's Assistant's just not really what I'm looking for. I'm going to take the Path Mage. I mean, Path Mage is a significantly better card than Assistant in most decks. Tabling the Crippling Blight is fantastic news. Absolutely going to pick that up. Over the Wall of Limbs, even. There's so many X1s I want to kill with this. Getting them both back is just remarkably awesome. Very happy about that. That's going to tremendously help the deck, tabling both of those. Like I said, the list goes on and on and on and on and on about the X1s in this format. Child of Night, Welkin Turn, I mean, if you want me to name them all, I will. It's going to take me a little bit, but there really is. I feel like I've mentioned them in every draft video, but um, there's just so many. There's just so many cards that it just straight up takes out. That Geist of the Moors is another great one, highly played card that it takes out. Wall of Mulch is more playable than Moss Beast, I think, so we'll hate that. Soulmender actually has good synergy with the Pride Mate, which we passed earlier. All right, good news. We ended up with a deck that I had some huge concerns about going into pack number 3, but panned out to be really excellent looking. So we can probably cut one of our Peel from Realities. I think I would almost rather just play the Crippling Blights over that. We got to play 17 lands, I think, because not that our deck is super mana intensive, but it's middle heavy enough where I want to make sure we're hitting our lands. So first, oh, I don't have to do it. Oh, that's right. I can just do this. Okay, so I don't think I want to cut any of my creatures. I guess I kind of like all the spells I've got too, though. Into the Void's better in tempo, but just bouncing 2 dudes, killing any token, bouncing anything with an aura on it. If you're ahead on the board, Into the Void is so detrimental to your opponent, that is. I might be able to go down a creature or 2, maybe, but I'm trying to think what are the actual weakest spells in here, and I'm having a hard time deciding. Probably the Black Cat could be considered one of the weakest. Possibly one of the 5-drops. We're pretty removal light. Double Crippling Blight, Turn to Frog, Peel, Stab Wound, Into the Void, Covenant of Blood. It might seem like a lot of removal, but the thing is, blue-black typically has tons of removal. Like, we didn't get any Flesh to Dust, you know, which are highly prized. I do have to make 2 cuts, so I really need to figure out the weakest cards in this deck. I'm trying to think what I like less, the Shadow Cloak or the Nimbus. I think I actually like the Shadow Cloak less. I'd rather have the built-in evasion with 1 less power, I think. And I think I like the Maggot because it buys me time, although maybe I could cut the Maggot and leave both the Vamp and the Nimbus of the Isles. So I feel like one of these should probably get cut just to lower the curve of our deck. Rotfeaster Maggot is going to buy us time. Nimbus of the Isles and Shadowcloak Vampire less so. They both. I think let's cut the Shadowcloak Vamp over the. I'd rather play the Nimbus of the Isles and Rotfeaster Maggot, and obviously the Master of Predicaments. I should make one more cut. I think I still want to play the main deck Negate. I'm pretty sure it's a very useful spell. If we're playing against the all creature deck, I can cut it, but it's pretty useful. At least I see it as pretty useful. I prefer to not cut another creature though. We could, I guess, we can easily sideboard into Negate. That might be wiser. It's not that almost every deck we're going to play, I mean, 100% of the decks we play against are going to have a Negate target. I think you really just bring Negate in when they've got, 6 or 7 spells you're really worrying about, something like that. If they're like a really creature-heavy deck, then I don't want to be main decking Negate. But if they're, a slower deck with a lot of removal, which is, in my opinion, more of a rare deck in this format than the just, hey, I'm going to play a bunch of 1, 2, 3 drops and, swarm you. I've kind of come to under the impression that this format is a much quicker format. So cards like Rotfeaster Maggot, where I formerly, underplayed their value, I think these cards are much more valuable now, later in the format. Even cards like Black Cat, I tended to undervalue quite a bit. And I'm certainly not saying it's a great card, but in a deck like this that really needs to just get to the point of mid to late game, I think it's pretty valuable. People are typically afraid to attack into it if they have useful spells in hand. So those are very useful. This deck looks like it synergistically is, not super synergistic, but it's got a lot of really positive spells going on. I really like the idea of Chasm Skulker just taking the game over if I can stalemate the board long enough. Haunted Plate Mail turning any of my guys into huge threats. Jace, You know, just a Planeswalker is annoying enough if they have to, every turn I'm getting value. Master Predicaments is a big dude, very, very hard to beat. They got to answer him right away, or he's basically spitting stuff out, or just a quick clock. We've got an all right curve, admittedly maybe a little bit on the heavy side because we've got so many 4-drops, but I like it. I like this deck. I think I'm going to run it like this. 14 creatures is a little bit creature light, but I would say blue-black is more creature light more often than not. We didn't end up tabling the Jorubai Murklurker, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but like I said, the Chasm Skulker is such a crazy win con. I think it really goes above and beyond the Murklurker. Maybe not by a lot, but enough. And I think I was more likely to table the Murklurker than I was to table the Chasm Skulker, if that makes sense. I mean, you're not even going to play the Murklurker unless you're in blue-black, right? So unless someone else is blue-black, they just hated it because you don't run it in any deck. Let's sort by color. Take a look here. Wow, we're almost like dead even. So what are they saying I need more of? More blue because I've got a couple double blue spells, but okay, I can agree to that. Overall, the deck, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's pretty powerful. Let's group everything together again. Yeah, I like the Crippling Blights quite a bit. Yeah, this is a pretty good deck. I think it's pretty good. I like the rares we have quite a bit. I haven't done blue-black too much. Every time I do it, I never manage to actually play a Murklurker. And this time I was just put in that dilemma where it was, you know, the mighty Chasm Skulker versus the mighty Murklurker. And you see how I chose. Yeah, like I said, a little bit mid-heavy, but I think we're all right. I think we're okay. So we'll try this out. I'll see you round 1.